Welcome one and all to the stream. My name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. This is the weekly Damn stream. We host these every Saturday at the same damn time, same damn channel. And these streams are an assortment of basically a showcase of community maps as well as tips and tricks for your builds. So think of it as like an AMA format. While you're here, you can ask questions, ask me anything, and I'll do my best to answer your questions, provide you with, walkthroughs with troubles you may be vexed by in your builds, and I can show you how to accomplish things in your builds as well. Hey, Vanyakos, how you doing? So I am just happy to be here, and like I said, I didn't sleep well last night, and I apologize if I'm a little out of it. I tried my best, but there was just a lot of noise outside last night. Lots of cars, lots of jets, and I just couldn't sleep. So, anyway, hope you all are doing well. Had a an amazing weekend so far. I've seen a lot of cool maps on the workshop this week. There's a lot of interesting stuff to look at, and I'm very excited. Oh, for sure, Cweord. I will try my best. After this, in fact, I'll probably just get a quick nap, day nap, the problem with Vegas is sometimes it's very alive. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those cities that's like, even in the suburbs, it can be really loud and on the weekend and stuff. There was a couple of parties down the road I could hear. There was a lot of cars driving back and forth. And then, Nellis has had a lot of jets taken off lately, and they fly basically directly over my home as they're leaving the area. So, or like I guess a lot of jets fly over my area, and it's really loud. Anyway, hey, Pie Man, how you doing? So, welcome back, one and all. How are you all doing? Tell me how your week's been, how your campaigns have been going. What have you been building for your campaigns? I'd love to discuss your weeks and plans. Balloon hunting, who knows? Right, yeah, sometimes living here is a disaster, but I enjoy my neighborhood. It's nice. It's typically pretty quiet, but there was just a lot of noise last night. Who knows if they were balloon hunting, right? Here we have the native Las Vegasan in his natural habitat, unable to sleep. He tries to lull himself to sleep with David Attenborough narration. Anyway, that was my best Attenborough impression. It was probably awful. Oh, for sure. It's the cows that keep you awake and are moved to sleepy rural UK. I kind of want to move somewhere rural. It'd be fun. Okay, so Wolfgold said... Oh, wait, here, let me see. Cweord says, my campaign that I play in is set in Adventuring Academy. I am having to build a water polo pool. That's awesome, actually. Jet the Jelly says, built a tall tower map that had a small versions of trees and tents on the ground to simulate how high it... Was that your map, Jet? With the circles, right? Or is that, am I thinking of a different map? There's been a few tower maps this week. Have you shared it on the workshop by chance? Because I could just search it right now. Let's see. Good D&D session, couple of new players, and rewriting East Haven as Cats of Ulthar tribute. Interesting, Wolfgold. Interesting. Dark Kitty Cat Knight. I'm trying to collect info on DA so I can know if my PC can handle me trying to make a continent. So, Dark Kitty, I will say Dungeon Alchemist's primary use is for smaller maps. Anywhere from like a 10 by 10 battle map up to like 100 by 100 is the typical size I see in our community. Now, your computer specs will greatly influence how big of a map you can do. Now, that's not to say you couldn't make a kind of overworld style world map using Dungeon Alchemist. I've seen it done, but it's not really its primary function. It's more like localized area battle maps, if that makes sense. But, ow, I just pinched my finger on my chair. That hurt. Ow, in the handrest. So I was just recently helping our devs host an AMA on the Foundry subreddit, and they basically were asked if we have plans to make like a world alchemist or a world map editor. Someone was like, I would gladly pay for that. And Vim said he's interested in making an overworld biome, which that would mean like a biome that is like kind of a skewed further perspective where everything is smaller below, but it would allow you to make world maps with like small villages and mountains and forests and lakes, etc. Now I don't know exactly how that would function, so don't speak to that. You know, what I'm saying is 100% is truth. It's more like that's how I see it would work. But anyway, something to consider. And that might be something later on down the road. Let's see here. Making a net is near impossible. You know, they have those like poles with the string that dangles between them that would just kind of look like a net. It's like a pole with a rope, and when you put two of them together, it dangles right between it. It would look like a net, Cweord. Let's see here. So Dark Kitty Cat, if you tell us your specs, we might be able to tell you how well your computer would be able to handle it. But something to consider is it's not really its strong point to make world maps. I've seen people do it, though. Let's see if we can find one. Oh, man, that map's too big to load. I can't load it on the stream. Let's just search world maps, see if anyone's made any. There's been a few, but I haven't seen them uploaded to our workshop, so that makes it problematic. 1 second. Hey, Waldo, how you doing? Hey, Dirty Rollers. Yeah, I'm not seeing one. There's not really any good examples on here that I could give you. That other one was a Legend of Zelda overworld map, but it's huge. I can't load it on my computer. It crashes it almost every time. So unfortunately, I could not do that. There are a few examples of it that exist. I've seen it on our Discord. I've seen it on here on our workshop, but like I said, I can't load that big of a map because my computer can't handle it while running the stream, so I apologize. Let's see here. Let's see. Cammy says, it's hot here in Brazil. Like this lava, my week is hunt ice cream and sleep in hot room. Oof. Gotta get one of those, like, room air conditioner units, right? Cave of Creation. I spent the week creating the Cave of Creation. Now I'm getting down to veg. Well, let's pull up a map and start looking at some stuff. Let's see here. Are you able to change your terrain? For some reason, the snow touching the lava without it melts hurts my brain. I mean, sure. If you want to change your terrain at any time, you can go to terrain and then go to here to edit terrain. So you can then go in and change it from, say, snow to desert. And boom, it'll regenerate the biome. So it's very possible to do that. Let's see here. I'm working on building a butterfly house map for a charity this week. Lots of custom drawn assets needed. Oh man, Lucian, that sounds intense. I would love to see it when you're done, though. Your maps are really creative, Lucian. Always pretty neat. I appreciate your posts. It drives me crazy there's no blending between the snow and lava. Feel like the lava could affect the ground below it and out a foot or two. I mean, you know, yeah, it is kind of weird, but at the same time, I mean, it could be a fresh lava flow. There could be constant snow, you know, falling, and at the same time, it is the first iteration of lava and snow together, so with time, it'll probably be refined. You could also, if it is snow, and then just go through on the edges and put like a dirt, if you really wanted to draw it in. So, like this, you could go here, and then grab this say this, you know, rock or dirt or any of them, and then just go around the edges. So a few feet in, or even like that, it's kind of just melted. So you could go in by hand and do it. It would be, you know, kind of brimstone-ish around the edge here where it's melted. Like, it's possible, you just have to do it by hand. The AI can only do so much. It's not a mind reader, you know? It can't do our taxes. It will make based on the rules and information given to it, and then we go in and refine the map by hand a little bit to make it perfect, you know, the map of our dreams. Hey, Droop, how you doing? Welcome back. Dirty Rollers, what you been up to, man? What you been building lately? Okay, let's see here. Wonder Draft is good for world maps. I've never checked it out. I will have to check it out. The bosses have given me authorization to check out, you know, other map software and VTTs and stuff. So I'm going to start doing that. Basically to just see, you know, what competitors offer, as well as see how Dungeon Alchemist works in a variety of VTTs and provide video tutorials for that. Anyway, so shortly, hopefully, I will have video tutorials for integration with Dungeon Alchemist with pretty much any VTT. Because it seems like we have people in our community that are like, they're the Roll20 experts, some are Foundry experts, some are Fantasy Grounds. I want to be able to be the expert on all. Lucha, I don't think ever. I don't think it will ever. Let's see here. Where was I? You posted maps in Discord. I'll have to check those out in a minute, Jet. Waldo, dude, what you been up to? Just rocking, you said? That's awesome. Even a region map would need the ability to paint snow on mountains and grassland. Yeah, you would need, like, a lot more of these biome options for paint. So an overworld biome would have to be very carefully thought out and designed. But yeah, this is what you guys were wanting there, a little bit of snow melt along the edge, which you can do by hand, no problem. Let's open up a workshop map and start talking, you know, community maps, because there are some amazing maps this last week. Oh, for sure, Wolfgold, that works. You could put in dog houses. I mean, does anyone want to see how I would do an overworld biome right now? I'm just going to quickly do it. Now, obviously, I'm just going to do a small example. Not going to make a whole map. Hey, some green potato, thank you for that follow, by the way. Much appreciated. Sorry I missed that. Let's get rid of this lava flow, because I highly doubt a whole country would have an entire lava flow. We'll just do no water for now. Oh my gosh, honestly, I've been playing with ChatGPT this week just to see how it works, and I'm really liking it. It's fun. I was giving it some information about a world I created and have written like hundreds of pages about, and I was just feeding it like a few pages and asked it to help come up with like flora and fauna from the region based on like my descriptions and information I fed it. And after a few tries and some rules, it was starting to really cook. It was doing some cool stuff. And it's awesome to just use it as like a foundation and then go through and fill stuff in yourself. You know what I mean? Oh, for sure. Honestly, like, I know a lot of people are quick to jump on AI and hate on it, but I think not all AIs are created equally. Just like, you know, Dungeon Alchemist AI isn't the same as Midjourney or, you know, things like that. So I would think, you know, ChatGPT is one of those more utility AIs that are incredibly cool and useful. Now, I do think it could, you know, take some jobs, but that's the same of any tool. And I mean, if we're going to be mad at that, we should be mad at any company that is streamlining their factories, you know, with robots and, you know, automation and stuff like that. Exactly. I would use it either to supplement the content you already have. Maybe you have some writer's block and you feed it with that info that you already do have, and then it helps you break that ceiling, you know? Or, you know, you are needing help coming up with a bunch of content really quick and you already have a world designed, but you're trying to flesh it out. That also is a great way to use the tool. It's a great automation tool. Right? As soon as there was 3 cavemen, 2 of them had a conspiracy against the first one. Anyway. Exactly. We create all our own assets in-house. We train our AI in-house. We don't scrape the internet for data. We don't, scrape your maps for data. We train it all ourselves. So it's very important distinction that AIs, you definitely do your research with different AIs and understand that they're different in their own ways. Okay, let's get back to the overworld biome, okay? So, I guess, you know what? Let's just blank this out and it'll make it easier. What I'm going to do is just use the object eraser, which if you're not aware, there's an object eraser and object brush under the object tab, and then you go to the, up here, it's the paint objects tab up at the top. If you click erase objects and set your brush size, then you can quickly just erase everything. Boop. Easy peasy, rice and cheesy. And it's pretty much blank slate for you to work with, which is a great way for you to, rapidly adjust your maps. Now, using that in... that's the thing. I mean, artists and musicians, and they learn from each other, and they evolve off of each other. There is always newer, different styles, but they're almost always inspired from different things. Now, AI just speeds up that process. However, I do think, AI should be meant to, streamline our work, not our art. So, I don't know. I do love that's where Dungeon Alchemist bridges the gap. It isn't doing all the work for you. You can go in by hand and really make it your own. You know what I mean? Oh, Carl, there was a blog entry about it. Like August 1st, 2021, I think. Seisu, if you want to look it up, it's got some information about the AI training specifically from Carl. I don't know if it's more up to date now. I guess with the new update, there probably is a lot more information. Okay, so now imagine this is the beginning of an overworld biome. If you looked at this at a distance, it would look like rough mountainous terrain, right? You could go in and do things like rocks, so rock formations, for instance, and you can make them very large, and that could be your kind of rocky mountains off in the distance, right? You could also go in and use the terrain tool and do things like water. You could do a very small, thin brush and do rivers. It takes a moment to kind of carve, but essentially now we have, kind of like a river flowing down, and we could make it a lake here, make it a little bit bigger. So from the up top down, it's starting to look like a world biome. Now let's say you want to add homes or structures. That could be a little bit more difficult if you want to draw rooms like AI, because they only have these square sizes, right? So that doesn't work in an overworld. You have to be creative with objects. So under objects, there's a ton of assets that have like a roof on them. So let's search, say, shed. There's these new shed is a great one. You could just kind of shrink this down, maybe tuck it in here, or put it in this mountain, and that could be considered like maybe a dwarven structure in the mountains, like that. This is the dwarven kingdom of whatever. And then over here on the lake, we could put a bunch of smaller, like, outhouses and stuff as... Oh, that did not how I was wanting. You can also put another shed and make it alternative in size, much smaller. And then these things, it's like, oh man, there's only so many of them, but you can change the color on them. Make them different shapes and colors by mixing them together. One of my favorites is the doghouse. So there is this doghouse, and it's got this really nice scraped roof. So get it roughly the size of this, shed, mix it together. Now it looks like a totally unique home. You could go in the terrain again and start drawing little roads as well. Little things like cobblestone roads that just kind of illustrate a place. It doesn't have to be very detailed in an overworld biome. And, because it's way, way up like this where people are looking at it. Does that make sense? Yep, you can. I was going to get to that next. So, does this make sense so far as to how I'm creating an overworld biome? And really, the only limitation here on this is the size you can create based on your computer specs, because, you can keep making it bigger and bigger and bigger. Or the limitation would be something like your own imagination in what you can place on the map to make structures and homes and roads. So I know it's more work this way, as there's no AI creation for it. You would have to do everything by hand and get really creative, but it's possible. It's very, very possible to set up an overworld biome with Dungeon Alchemist. Between the sheer amount of assets we have, let's say you just go to structural assets and start looking at stone things and construction types of all types, round constructions, freestanding walls, masonry. You could start making all sorts of really cool, interesting structures. Hey, Me Monkey, thank you for that follow. Sorry I didn't notice before. The green assets that they were talking about under abstract, we have a bunch of assets that are essentially blank slate chroma key assets that you could place down, and you could have a top-down home on that and put it down there. So you click on this, and, excuse me, it's got an option to download the texture template, which you need to follow the template for it to fit to this texture correctly and look right. And then here's where you upload the texture. So you could upload into it and then place something into it. So here, I'll give you an example. I don't really have any top-down stuff, but I could put, some blood, and you'll see the blood. How that works. So that gives you an example, but that could be a home, or some roads, or a wagon, or something. Yeah, that is Kickstarter stuff, so that's exclusive to anyone that was part of the Kickstarter back in the day. And unfortunately, those are no longer available to get. Any news on community assets? What do you mean by, having a place to upload all of the skins for these? Wolf Gold, is that what you mean? Man, I've had a cough. Excuse me, I gotta get some water. Okay, that's some water, that'll oh, excuse me. Okay, so 3D models and templates, the ability to upload them to the Steam Workshop is definitely on the roadmap, and I would imagine probably not this update, but the next one, you'll be seeing that. I do know that the Steam Workshop is getting a major overhaul with our next update to help allow maps to be easier to be noticed, because we're noticing that some maps get noticed and then they stay on top for weeks and weeks and weeks because the Steam algorithm, the way it favors stuff, it keeps stuff at the top. And there's really good maps that go unnoticed as a result of which, and that's why I've been trying to showcase maps through the Dam of the Day and Dam Challenge and etc., because it allows maps that may not be noticed by the Steam algorithm to be noticed. Anyway, with that in mind, I do know that Carl is dedicated to allowing 3D, model uploads, as well as the ability to share your templates more easily than what we have on Discord, which is, for the time being, an okay alternative. It worked great for over a year for our map sharing, so it's good enough for now for sharing templates for these abstracts. Anyway, did I get lost on anything here? Hey guys, let's drop the AI argument or discussion debate, because I really don't want it to get hostile in here, and before too long it can. Let's just say that not all AIs are created equally, and it is a very difficult discussion to have because it's not like a black or white thing. It's a big gray area sometimes. And I think as the public learns more and more about AI, I think their perceptions of different AIs and how they work with us in our reality and how they help us in our day-to-day already will, come to light, and things like that would, might sway people's opinions as well. That's all I'm going to say. I do, I appreciate a discussion, but before it goes off the rails, I would just like to, let's just stop it right now, and let's just talk Dungeon Alchemist and tabletop RPGs and virtual tabletops and maps. Palpitation, thank you for that follow. Much appreciated. So, does this explanation of an overworld biome make sense? Also, if you're going to do overworld, I would definitely recommend that you create your map as a grasslands biome. The reason I say that, unless you need it specifically as a different biome in that area, because the grasslands biome has the most paints. So in here, you actually have, under the terrain tool, you have the absolute most options for paint. So there's, desert stuff, but like, let's say you need snow, you're going to have to, use a different biome. Right now, it's just Dungeon Alchemist isn't really the best for overworld biomes, but it can do it. I would just segment your map, maybe have it into like quadrants or 6, tiles that, like, this one's more your northern regions, and then maybe one's a desert, one's a swamp, one's a forest, etc. Yeah, for real. I mean, you can add the snow weather to the desert regions. So, like, if you are in a desert map, let's say you were just in desert. So right now, office. On. It's really hot in here during the day. Okay. So notice here there's no snow, right? But if you go in and type or into the weather section under change terrain and just change it, now you could put snow on the desert. Which I know it's not as logical as one might like it to be, but it's, a possibility. However, deserts do get really, really cold, and they do see snow on occasion. So, oh, by the way, the cabbage maps that have been coming in so far have been very hilarious. For those of you wondering what we're talking about, we host a bi-weekly map-making challenge called the Dam Challenge, and it's named after the file types that you save a map as with Dungeon Alchemist. They're saved as .dam or Dungeon Alchemist map. So we lean into that. We call it this stream the Dam Stream. We have the challenge called the Dam Challenge. With that in mind, the Dam Challenge is a way to kind of flex your cartographer skills and showcase your abilities against, fellow cartographers in the community. And for 2 weeks, you can submit an entry into the Damn Challenge section of our Discord. And I look over those entries and I scheme and I decide which one will be the winner. And the winner gets to they win not only, the recognition of winning, and they get a $10 Hero Forge gift card. So a lot of people love the Hero Forge integration, but it is, you got to pay to play with those tokens. It's kind of expensive, so it does help to get a free token from time to time. And based on sales and stuff with, previous sales from Hero Forge, you could possibly get 2 or 3 tokens for that amount if you held on to it. So there's a little bit of incentive to enter. And on top of that, the maps are usually showcased on our socials. You get a lot of credibility, and, just people out there who may be looking for maps will find your stuff. I always credit the authors of the various maps I share on our socials. I make sure I share the links for our Steam workshop so people get their work seen. That's the thing, is I love when the maps on the workshop get noticed and get loved, get attention. It is under the snow biome. I guess I could, but I don't typically like to show any of the maps for the Damn Challenge until that, when we're announcing the winner. The thing is, it's an active contest too, and if I start showing maps, it shows favoritism a little bit. I don't really comment on the maps during the contest, and I don't showcase them on stream until we announce winners. The winner is the first map showcased on the stream. They're the first one we go through. We dive into it heavy, and then after that, we then start showcasing other maps from the challenge. Let's check out this Cave of Creation, though. Exactly, Concrete. It's exactly that. So there's certain palette of brushes to each biome. And the reason that is because when the brush system we use, the more brushes we add, it starts bogging down the system, and we found that after a certain amount, our medium average user base with computers starts struggling and having problems. So we can't really do that. Oh my. This is effect heavy, I can tell already. I honestly, the maps that are being made now with effects are making me think I need to get a new graphics card really bad. I want to kind of get into like a 3 series NVIDIA, or maybe one of the newer AMDs. Oh man. That picture, dude. That's hilarious. Oh, that's awesome. I have a shirt just like that, by the way. Well, these types of things, like in first person, you would record and use it as like either an automated cutscene. So let's say your VTT has an automated trigger system, like if someone steps on a tile, it would trigger a cutscene. Or if you want to create a handout, you could record like a walkthrough of a space or a chase scene or something like that. Like, let's say the first time they walk into a tavern, it's them walking in and peeking around and kind of getting a lay of the land, just like you would anytime you walk into a new place, you kind of look around. And that would be a recording or a handout that triggers like a cutscene the second you enter into that place the first time. That's one way you could use the first-person tool. I've also seen in our community, they'll go through, and if a player wants to check their token's first-person perspective, they'll open Dungeon Alchemist and drop a token where they're at and let them look around. So there's a few ways you can integrate that first-person usage. I've also seen Dungeon Alchemist used as a limited virtual tabletop in a lot of ways. Both sorry, let me reiterate what I'm saying here. So I've seen it used on like TV tabletops where they have a TV like on their table, and they put Dungeon Alchemist in there, and they'll basically just set the map in like a top view like this, right? And you can go in and turn on a grid, set the color of the grid, do all sorts of things, and essentially, oh, you can also hide the UI. So you could set this up on the TV, and basically as your players move, you just move it on the, on the computer. Or you could export this as a JPEG image, and they basically go through it. But the problem is you're limited as constraints of TV size and dimensions it may support. So I like hooking a computer up and actually moving it myself like this would be a great way to do it. Another way is like a projector, so you could project it down and do the same thing. Alternatively, people use like a VTT in person on the TV tabletop. So there's lots of ways. I really love the effects in this because the constant mist, it's interesting. Okay, so there's this map I really want to open, and I'm afraid if I open it, it'll crash my computer or the stream. Should I risk it? Because it is insane. SwedishCook, are you here right now? Because I was peeping your UnderDark map earlier. Oh my goodness, my friend. Holy cow. I, as you all know, I'm a sucker for like cave and mine maps. They're my favorite, and oh my goodness. So this map is stunning, first off, can I say. I really love the effects and the size of it, and I really would like to showcase another map that is a cave, but I'm afraid that my computer will crash because after seeing this, I don't know how much I can run on stream. I'm just worried. It's gonna be too much for my little guy. My 1080 is getting aged. Let me see if I can do something here. Oh, we're already on low. I'm gonna try and squeeze some frames out of my computer. I'm gonna close anything that doesn't need to be running right now. But yeah, I definitely need a better graphics card. Okay. So it was recent. This UnderDark map is insane. It's 100 by 100. Dear Cartographer gods, please allow this map to load and not crash the stream. Oh my gosh. Well, I'd have to get a treadmill. I do have a bike, like a workout bike. I could do that on stream. You know, though, here's the thing. We're about to hit 2,500 maps. It's working! Hey, someone's seen a Star Wars film. Okay, so we actually have 2,508 maps now. Holy cow. Okay, so this is an impressive example of an UnderDark map. And honestly, I do think that this new update allowed this type of map to start shining because you now have these amazing, fluorescent mushrooms. We have effects. And it is a beautiful map. It is well designed. And not only that, but the use of effects really, really sells this map in a lot of ways. So I was reading that SwedishCook basically used the dark effect here, the dark smoke, black smoke, to make this look like a more dark pit, like it's deeper than it is. So that is a fantastic way I mean, Cweord, I would go with probably physics. No. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't have any idea why it doesn't work underwater. Oh, that's a great way to do it too. So, I mean, if you place the mushrooms by hand, you have the option. If you're using a brush, it's going to just do an assortment of all mushrooms. You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, it'll just be all glowing mushrooms in a kind of a bag, putting them all out. There's no way to train it to be like, I only want these glowing mushrooms, unfortunately. Heads off to suggestions, right? Oh man, did the music stop? Yeah, let's get that back. It feels so quiet. Okay, let's keep looking around at this map for a minute before it crashes my computer. I like this little crystal mine here. Very beautiful use of the crystals. Got a little keep in here. Like, just fantastic build. Very beautiful. Honestly, there's been some crazy builds that have come out in the last 2 weeks because of the update. Or 2.5 weeks. I've been very shocked and stunned by some of the work you guys have been putting out. Thank you so much for sharing these builds today. Both of these, the Cave of Creation and the UnderDark, are just beautiful builds. Right? It does. Yep, it's on the workshop. If you just search UnderDark. But be warned, it's 100 by 100. So make sure the map you're in is in low when you go to open this, because it will probably chug your computer if it's like, you know, your computer struggles. Here, let's check out this one. See, this one was made before the glowing mushrooms or effects were available. I do appreciate each and every one of you that share your maps, whether it's, you know, on Facebook or in our Discord, or you share them, you know, on the workshop, or you're, you know, posting your work on Patreon or Reddit, whatever. This one's great too. Really like this one. This one's done by Shadooo. Right? That's old school. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to build a mine. So as soon as I get access to the new update, I'm going to rebuild my Dwarven Prospectors mine from scratch. And oh my goodness, I can't wait. Like, I'm so excited to rebuild that map with all the new assets. It's going to be very fun. By the way, we hit 50 viewers. Who's ready for a giveaway? Giveaway, giveaway. Who is ready for a giveaway? Hey, thank you for the follow there. Divide Elvin. Okay. Oh, Unsane Gamer, welcome to the community. My name is Mac. I am actually the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. This is the official Dungeon Alchemist channel and stream. So if you have any questions about the product, or you just want to hang out and vibe, feel free to do so. But yeah, feel free to ping me if you need any assistance. Let's see here. Let's go by most recent. I encourage you all to sort by recent and check it out from time to time. There's so many amazing maps you would never even notice unless you do. Holy cow. There's a lot of good ones on here. A lot to choose from. I haven't set up the giveaway yet. Yep, let's do it. Ready? Spaghetti, go. Oh, goodness. Okay, what's wrong with it? 1 second. Go. Sorry about that, everyone. You must be following the channel if you want to enter the giveaway. That's the only requirement. And by the way, we're giving away a Steam key for Dungeon Alchemist. This is the application you see in front of you. So if you're, just checking it out, or you're wanting to buy it and it's not really in your price range at the moment, or you're sitting on the fence, maybe this is a good way to get into checking out Dungeon Alchemist for free. Ooh, so this person here has been participating in Dungeon 23. Dungeon 23 is a big social network movement where cartographers and map makers are encouraged to make a room or a small space every day, and you do that for 365 days until you have this massive, huge, elaborate dungeon. Some people have actually... Oh, require more pylons. It is a very cool challenge. The problem is I don't have time to do it every day, so I couldn't commit to it. But there's the themology behind it is you can make a whole very intricate dungeon if you follow this, rule set and create a small room every day. Oh, it's definitely worth it, Unsane Gamer. And I know I'm a little bit biased as the community manager, but I actually had like 300-400 hours in Dungeon Alchemist before I actually started working for this community. So I love this product through and through. I'm very, very happy with it. Into Frozen Kingdom. This looks interesting. Let's drop a token and see what it looks like in first person. Put myself here on the stairs. So, like, I mentioned earlier that you could record these first-person kind of cinematics and use them as a handout for your players. So, does anyone here use Foundry as a virtual tabletop? So, with Foundry, there are a lot of modules, as I'm sure that many of you Foundry users are aware. Modules are essentially like plugins that expand the use of Foundry and allow it to do more than it can natively. One of the more impressive modules that I'm hoping to explain further here is basically it's called Active Tiles. Gosh, who is the guy that makes Active Tiles? What's his name? Monk Active Tiles. And essentially, what it is the active tile system. If you step on a tile, if your player steps on a tile, it will trigger like a cutscene or a journal entry to open, and you can put information behind that. So you could have a recorded chase scene or a cutscene of them entering an area or triggering a trap that you recorded or something like that. And you could use this first-person view to kind of help elaborate that or record that. You also have another way to record in Dungeon Alchemist using the cinematic, or I call it the drone camera. You have a lot of free range of motion with this camera. Additionally, you can take screenshots and stuff like that to use as handouts. Remember, everyone, there's 6 minutes left to enter the giveaway. We're giving away a copy of Dungeon Alchemist on Steam. It's a key for the game on Steam, so you can redeem it right away. No need to wait for it to be shipped to you or anything like that. And because it's on Steam, it can be redeemed worldwide. You know, that would be awesome, to either put the rail system up yourself and have it kind of follow it. You know, I would love that, to like have a camera rigging system, but I don't know if there's any plans for that at this time. What's your question, Divide? Elvin, go ahead and ask. Is there any questions that I missed earlier? Just want to make sure. Hey, Ricky, how you doing, buddy? Man, this map is really pretty. I like this wall, though. So it looks like you probably got to just activate these or deactivate the pylons to get over the wall. They probably just set it up as a puzzle. I'm not 100% certain what they had in mind, but it is a pretty map. Either way. Is there any maps you all want me to check out? Of course, Divide, you can do that. So, Dungeon Alchemist is actually all about map creation, whether you're using it for your own campaigns or you're creating campaigns to sell on Patreon, or, you know, you're just making maps for commission. All of those things are totally fine, and we have a very, very open terms of service. I know you don't speak English, so I'll try to keep it simple. That terms of service link that just dropped in chat explains it in English, but under Article 4.1 of our terms of service, it basically states you can use Dungeon Alchemist and sell Dungeon Alchemist maps, whether it's in a book or as standalone maps or in a campaign or a one-shot, and you don't need to worry about reporting it to us in any shape or form until you've made up to over 100,000 US dollars with Dungeon Alchemist. So basically, if you hit $100,000, you're going to need to get a commercial license of Dungeon Alchemist. And that's all we ask, is that way, you know, you have a license more appropriately in line with the scale of map making and sales you're doing. We have a very, very open terms of service. So basically, if you are a creator, a map maker, you sell your maps on Ko-fi, Patreon, you do private commissions, you're making a Kickstarter with our maps in it, you're making a huge campaign book and it's got a few Dungeon Alchemist maps in it, does not matter. It's totally fine. And as long as you know, up to 100,000, no need to bother us or even worry. Once you do, you can reach out to us and we'll talk how to get you a commercial license. Yearly turnover. We understand that you're all creators. This entire community is creators. Not one of us isn't a creator. Even if we're just, you know, making maps for our private sessions with our friends and family. What was the map you wanted me to look up here? Let's see here. You can make palisades just fine. There's plenty of fort walls, actually. Here, I'll search one really quickly. Let's see. I swear, there was a map that someone set up there, and I can't see it anymore. Necromancer's King's Tomb, and I'll check out Kobold Tunnel. We'll check out both of those. But first, I want to show you a fort that is awesome. This is probably one of the highest rated maps on the workshop, and it is full of palisades. So these little barricades here are essentially just barricades that were stacked to make palisades. And then also under objects, we have all of our walls as freestanding walls now. Bunch of these wood ones can work great for like fort walls. There's also stone ones that work great. Wire, you know, gates that you can use, and there's, you know, these kind of freestanding fence types. There's tons, and these walls here can be placed anywhere and at any angle. So you can essentially go through and just hold shift and start pumping out a series of barricade type walls. So this is a great example. This here is actually based on a Pictish hill fort from Scotland. It was made by Highland Lass, who is actually a very talented cartographer. She's a librarian and amateur historian, and she bases a lot of her maps off of old dig sites in England. Oh my goodness, my wife just brought my puppy. You guys want to see Seymore? Who wants to see Seymore? Anyone? No one? Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. He just had a bath. He is a good boy. Dirk, congratulations. Make sure you hit claim in the next 30 seconds to get that key. Come on, Dirk, you gotta claim it. Gotta claim it, Dirk Pitt. There you go. Good job. He is a very good boy. He just loves snugging. He can sit on my lap for like hours. Congratulations, Dirk. Can we get some applause and congratulations to the winner of the giveaway? But, you know, you were asking about how to build a fort. Go look on our Steam Workshop and just type, you know, or not publish, sorry. You go to search, browse, and type fort. There's going to be a bunch of them you could use as a reference. So there's going to be wooden type, you know, palisade type forts, and there's also going to be stone wall forts. Very good, like both options. Okay, what were the names of the maps? So we had one that was like a kobold something. Sorry, what was it called, Ladybird? Okay, I'm gonna push you down, okay? He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Okay. Ugh. Oh, God. Lay down on the floor next to me. I would imagine either Water Worlds or High Seas would have more fluid dynamics, fluid physics in it, for sure. Kobold Tunnel. Kobold Tunnel 1. Let's check it out. Dirk, congratulations, my friend. I am going to whisper you your code right now, okay? I just whispered you your key here on Twitch. Could you please just respond back in the whisper, as well as confirm you got it in chat? I like to make sure we get the giveaways taken care of here as quickly as possible. One second here, we'll take a look at this. I apologize for getting a little sidetracked there. I just wanted to make sure I got Dirk his key. This is neat. I like it. They catapult themselves across. Am I still live? My stream software just crashed. Okay, we'll just keep going. It's showing an error saying I can press yes or no to stop, so I'm just going to leave it. Cool. I just have no stream control, so awesome. This is really nifty. Fizz. You can make waterfalls and lava falls using the abstracts. There's been a few maps with waterfalls made already. You got it? Thank you, Dirk. Much appreciated. Cool. So I will say, development for the next update is coming along very quickly. And I think us delaying and pushing back and getting the AI all hammered out before we pushed out, you know, Winter Wonderland. It is... Oh my gosh, it has been awesome. Let's just say that. There is a lot of progress happening, and there's a lot of, let's just say, a lot of work being done behind the scenes. The artists are pumping out all sorts of cool new assets. I wish I could show them to you, but I can't, and Vim has been showing all the coolest ones, the teasers. So with that in mind, basically, I will say that there is some upcoming information that you guys should know. I have convinced our lead developer, Carl, to come on the stream, which is a big deal. Hey, Smash Bear, welcome back. Oh my gosh, the pipes are calling, right? Those look cool. They looked awesome. So, Carl is very shy, and he's very hard to pin down because he's busy. He's always working on Dungeon Alchemist, and he also has a newborn. So he basically is either spending time with his wife and newborn or working on Dungeon Alchemist nonstop. He has told me that he would like to come on the stream 2 weeks from now. Hey, Mort, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you being here. So on the 4th of March, he said he would like to join us to hang out and be here on the stream for a little bit. I don't think he'll be here the whole time, but he will be here. Hey, Palpitation, how you doing? Thanks for the follow earlier. So Carl will basically pop in. I don't know if he'll be video or voice only. We're working out the details, but he'll be here to answer questions. So if you have any questions about, you know, the AI or the development for Dungeon Alchemist, or, you know, you want to get into the nitty-gritty of Dungeon Alchemist, that's one of the people to ask. I would definitely make sure you put that in your calendar and that you're here on the 4th, because it would be a very good stream to be present at. Oh, goodness. Hold on one second. Bottom there. You don't know how to respond to messages? What do you mean? So, okay, tell us a little bit more about this map here, Ladybird. So you said the kobolds launch across here. That sounds very efficient to just, you know, launch across. They've got it all figured out. This looks like a torture chamber. That looks a little rough. Here we've got, you know, mushroom harvesting, of course. And quarters. So if you highlight the message that you want to reply to, if you're on PC, it'll have a little arrow in the top right. And it says click to reply. If you're on mobile, you gotta click on the message and then hit mention. And then you can mention the person. They cook gnats to extract their magic. Oh my goodness. Kobolds. Always little shady, aren't they? Kobold pult? Oh my gosh. Love it. Love it! It's a great little map. What's this? What are they harvesting? Puppy fur on my face. What I get for just like rubbing his face all over my face and giving him a bunch of kisses. Freaking love that dog. Okay. Gotcha. I like the bell. Just a random bell. Okay, there was another map I was going to look at. Abydos, what was the name of your map? Is that how it's spelled? There it is. I see it. Awesome. Whoa. Wow. Yes, Wolf Gold. There is a color slider on one of them because they were trying to get it in before the update launched, but there were some other things that came up that were bugs that we had to bust, and so getting the color slider in wasn't prioritized, and it got pushed back. So the crystals, excuse me, will all have a color slider in the future. Oh, definitely. I could see a Necromancer or a maybe like a corrupt alchemist or something living here. I could also just seeing this being like a Lich's like phylactery. That would be cool, Palpitation. Do it. Great use of the round walls here. Love this. So the background there that you see, when you export your map, depending on how you export, it's going to be a different look. So if you export for print or image only, the print export actually is supposed to have a white background, but it's black right now. I swear I talked to Carl about this getting fixed. I'll bring it up with him tomorrow. Oh, it does seem like a trap for sure. But basically, depending on how you export it, you can get slightly different backgrounds. Like if you do it for print, it has a white backdrop. And then in the future, we're hoping to have a transparent. I'm hoping to have a transparent and a chroma green. I've been lobbying for this behind the scenes because I know you all want it. So you can, superimpose this, maybe, this scene on top of another scene or something. It would be awesome. But for the time being, it's going to be just either plain black, white, or that kind of like grayish background you were asking about. One thing to remember, too, is we are in early access, so a lot of Dungeon Alchemist is in a constant state of development and flux. Like, things are always changing and adapting and getting more streamlined. We have constant quality of life improvements. So little things like that. I would love to have it too. Yeah, you could place a bunch of abstracts there to get green right now. So if you take... It'd just take forever. You go here and grab like this large... Oh, it won't work on this because this is dark parchment, so that's not land technically. Yeah, it won't work. Unfortunately. Where's Waldo? You do need to get it. Oh my gosh. So has anyone noticed that the necrotic fog has skulls floating through it? It's one of the cooler effects, in my opinion. Oh, by the way, you guys and gals, the reason we have that neat force wall this here is because Cweord, who was here earlier, I don't know if you're still here or not, they found an Easter egg in Dungeon Alchemist and reported it to the devs. And the devs were like, oh, here, we'll make a custom object for you. And they wanted a wall of force. They ended up making a wall of force and a force sphere as well at the same time. So we got those two objects out of it, basically. So thank you for finding that Easter egg. They found like a tiny little label on a saw blade that pops out of an animated chest we have. Oh my goodness, it was such a tiny little thing. So this chest here, this treasure chest, it's got a trap on it. You see there's like something on it. There's like a little bit of text. Right there. It's hard to see, but it is there. I found something a few weeks ago on stream, but I don't think it was so much an Easter egg as it was just kind of fun. All the cannons can be fired now. Can you hear me now? I don't know why it stripped the mic properties. It wasn't the right mic. Oh, there we go. I can hear myself on my phone. So yeah. There we go. We good. Verizon? No, I'm on Cox cable. They're not that great though. So but it wasn't my internet that caused that. Can you hear me? Test. Should be good. I don't know. Something's up with my computer. Cool. I appreciate y'all sticking around while I tried to get my stuff fixed. I don't know. Some streams we go just fine and there's no problem, and sometimes it'll blue screen just randomly, and it's a different blue screen error almost every time, which is great. Hey, no problem, Abydos. It was a great map. I'm sorry my stream crashed while showing it. It was pretty epic. Your map is just too cool for my computer. What are you talking about, Cweord? Okay, well, let's see. Oh, so, I do know that Vim made that asset for his DM, his forever DM who's been DMing for him for like 20 years. Please don't crash. Damn it. I mean, darn it. One thing I've found is if I'm opening maps from the workshop and I don't have them saved locally while I'm Wait, was there an update for DA just now? Am I crazy or did an update just go through? $117. Is Carl watching right now? He heard us talking about the print thing and fixed it? I don't know. We'll see. If he heard me, we'll know. We'll go to export and see. Nope. Okay, it's not fixed yet. So that's not what the update was. That would have been cool. Honestly, Carl is so quick. If there's a big bug that's like causing lots of problems, he will fix it in like within a few hours. If I notice a bug on our socials, like if you guys bring a bug to my attention that's like a big problem, you can't export, something's not loading correctly, whatever, I will bring it to his attention. He usually will hammer it out within like a couple of hours. That one item is for Vim's DM as a gift, just like a present. I don't know if there's any significance. To like the sheet music or the significance of what it says there. Bella Stella, I mean, this could be quite literally a real place or like a real song. If you Google it, it could be something, but it says DM something there. I wonder though, this could be like a code. If you look at like the way these, like, it's like a punch card where like, so that was the first code was punch cards, right? So like the first computers were like papers with punch codes and or punch cards, and they would like, that's how it would process data. So it makes me wonder if this could mean something, but I have no idea how to interpret this data at all. Anyway. Exactly. I wouldn't, I mean, I wouldn't even have the slightest. I mean, it would just be zeros and ones, I guess. I don't know, but what do these different punches signify? So this is essentially like, it would be the song, if we could, but it also could have a code hidden in it, is what I'm trying to say. There's also some text up here that's upside down at the top of it. Kind of just above where it says the Bella Stellarum. It says TEP, looks like some Russian or something. It's hard to read. Is it? So it's, I thought that was, isn't the name of the band that's like a really awkward name for the band that plays that? George Lucas knew what he was doing. So this here, this Landbridge looks cool, and it looks like you're bridging two realms almost. Like maybe the Fae and, you know, just a regular realm. It probably is the song. What does Stinus Horstus mean, though? That sounds like possible Latin. We're like looking for everything. We're looking for secrets in everything. I do love this land bridge, though. It's collapsed. It looks neat. This looks like something that would be in Utah, Nevada, Arizona, which is like my native land. So there's lots of red rock that's really beautiful here. Can't catch me like that. I tried, Cweord. I tried. Gotta wake up real early in the morning. Is Tin Garden? And that's Latin, I'm assuming. Honestly, the machinations of Vim's thoughts and processes to what he does sometimes, I have no idea. But here's the thing. I do know there are a ton of Easter eggs that are hidden from both the devs, and they said that some of them have been there from the beta and they haven't been discovered. So, oh my goodness. I would love... That's a bummer. Okay, what was I trying to show you guys before the stream crashed? I was showing cannons, right? Good miss. Boom. No purpose to this. It's just fun. Just like rolling off into space. Oh, it is. I've always enjoyed Easter egg hunting or like finding super bounces in Halo. Like that was my favorite thing, looking for super bounces. Dakaris, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the community. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist, and this is the official channel for Dungeon Alchemist on Twitch. If you have any questions about the program or check out the rocking chair. What do you mean, Grabnook? Oh, because it rocks? Yeah, it does in fact rock. That's great for like a creepy mansion too. You know what I really want? Is to have like the ability to put GIFs inside of like the paintings. So we could have paintings where the eyes are like moving and stuff. You want to see something really creepy? I'll show you probably the creepiest asset in all of Dungeon Alchemist. The automaton. It's the Mechanical Turk, which is a well-known kind of like hoax invention thing that was like it was an automaton chess player. But it blinks and moves its hands and like does all sorts of creepy stuff. So Google Mechanical Turk. It's actually like a really cool... I would love to have them, but I don't know if we'll ever get them, to be honest. I'll lobby for them. How about that? Yeah, not Google's Mechanical Turk. It's more like a historical item. Yeah, Google has their own, like, isn't it like an AI or like a server system or something? It's not the same thing. But essentially, this was, basically, it was it was designed to it was a hoax, and essentially there was a compartment inside where a chess master could be inside and move the chess pieces below with magnets, and he would see what they were moving, because when they moved it would move it magnetically below, and it had all these systems of like areas you could pull apart and look in, and you could never see the guy inside because it was designed to be an illusion. Oh, it's Amazon? Is that what it is? Someone's doing it, though. I can't even checkmate him. That it makes zero sense. There is no king on this board. Whoa, did that just like bounce when I put it? Huh. Like really high bounce. It's a Kickstarter item. So you would only have access to it as a Kickstarter. There's a few items that were only available as Kickstarter items. Sorry, I don't usually show Kickstarter items on stream, but you guys were talking about creepy items, so I wanted to show you one. Excuse me for just a minute. I gotta tell my wife something really quick. I'll be right back. There is like a post of it on our Discord somewhere. If you haven't linked your Kickstarter account to your Steam, then you won't have access. You got to go log into your Kickstarter, get the code, and there's like a whole process for it. I'm not 100% certain how it works because I wasn't in the Kickstarter. I was given access because I have the dev build. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of assets under Kickstarter stuff that are pretty neat and exclusively cool. Like this neat organ. There is this ornithopter, which, you know. I really like this rocket launcher because it was like in the trailer, but it doesn't play or do anything anymore. You know what I would like? My dream asset is a Lazy Susan. You know those like rounds that just spin around? It would be cool to have something like that, and then we could put like a piano or anything on it, and it would just spin around, or a token. Anyway, let's move on to another map. Do appreciate your help today, Seisu. Oh, you didn't? Oh no, I'm sorry. That's a bummer. It actually looks very clean. I like that. Let's check this out. I also like that it has like the kind of like staggered entry. like this. So it's like defendable, but also still open. Oh my gosh. Seisu, I'm gonna hammer you. It is, but you gotta build it by hand, Divide Elven. So multi-story building is accomplished by stacking. So the AI doesn't support multi-story building. So you would have to go into objects, structural, and then they have these stone constructions or wood platforms, and a lot of these stack together like Lego. So you can hold shift and place one, stack them up on each other, and all of a sudden you have fort walls. You know what I mean? That's one way to do it. Here, let me show you a great example of that. Oops. Let's check out this one from SwedishCook. Great example. The new tents are great. I love that you can open them and look, you know, put stuff inside and kind of close them back up. So here they stack together a great little castle fort, and this is all stackable objects placed by hand. So these are all stone that were placed very delicately, and if you go into objects, you can disable collisions and put objects very close together. So normally if collisions were on, this object, you see how it's red when I'm trying to move it? It's like, oh, you can't place this here. It's too close to the other one. If you turn off collisions, you can start putting them very close together or on, you know, in each other, near each other. It seems like the person who built this, SwedishCook, put a lot of time into it. So if you want multi-story building right now, there's no AI support. It's all done by hand. It will take a bit of time, but it is possible in Dungeon Alchemist. Now, there is stacking is one way. Another way is by shaping the terrain manually. So you see here how the terrain kind of slopes up and becomes the level up here. We have a series of terrain tools that allow you to take advantage of the terrain and utilize it to how you see fit. Oh, for sure. For sure. It's just multi-story and terrain stacking would require a little bit more by hand stuff. However, in the future, we hope to add like roof and multi-story support with our AI, but it's down the road for sure. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to rebuild this map. Seisu, you were waiting for this, right? So I'm going to rebuild this map from the ground up in a few weeks. Like probably in about a month when I get access to the new dev build of the floor is lava. Yes, this is all hammers as tracks. Hundreds of hammers, my friend. You know what I would like to do, though? By the way, I made this before you could disable collisions. It was a pain in the rear. Love the little minecart. Oh, for sure. I mean, you can hold shift and then you have that hotkey. So if you hold shift when you place, you definitely have the ability to copy quickly. Yeah, it's always been that way. So I'm going to blow your mind right now, KO'd, and you're going to just probably hit yourself in the face over it. So in the bottom left, of Dungeon Alchemist here is some quick reference hotkeys, and it says shift, place multiple objects, control, toggle, snap to grid. So like if you have an object that can snap, if you hold control, it'll snap to anywhere on the grid. And if you hold shift while you place said object, it will duplicate it. So you got to hold shift while you place the object for the first time or create a secondary. So let's say like this cart here. Oh my gosh, it tips. I never even noticed that. Holy cow, that's bad. That is awesome. Okay, so if you push this, you have one in your hand. When you go to place it, if you're holding shift, it duplicates. So that is the quickest way to duplicate currently. It is on screen. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. It's like... Definitely not... You're not reassessing your life at the moment. I'm sorry, Cweord. It's been that way for a long time, too. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I can't help but laugh, though. It's a little funny. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I can't. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm done. You have the face of that kid that's wearing the SpongeBob outfit with when he's wearing the SpongeBob outfit for picture day, because his mom thought picture day was actually pajama day or something. Have you seen that meme? He's just like anyway, that is a nice honestly, I've never even seen this but honestly it's kind of funny because it has stuff in it. It's not dumping it out, but it's still cool. I was hoping it'd start moving or something. But that's the cool thing about the streams. If I try to pause it mid-dump, it goes back. So... One thing I will point out, these streams are a great way for all of us to share our knowledge on this program. There's a lot of little things that like people miss. They don't really know exist because they're just they're easy to overlook features. And I love doing the streams because almost every week I'm able to teach people, hey, this is something that you can do here, or this is something you can do here. You mean the text that's been at the bottom of this forever? Secret. It's very secret. We like to keep it hidden. That's why it's not in plain view. You could report it to Vim. You're like, hey, I found an Easter egg. It shows in the bottom of the object panel if you hold shift to place multiple objects. Dunzo. So I'm going to use that trick that SwedishCook did to... Ooh! Oh! Sorry, but... Oh my goodness. That made that look so much deeper. Like, just look at how much more dangerous that pit looks now. Like, no guardrails. This is a dwarven mine. We do not care. You're on your own. There are no safety precautions in this mine. Oh, I love that. Oh, that is fantastic. Seriously, SwedishCook, thank you for finding that. That is great. That will make pitfalls so much more dangerous. Like, they just appear so... That looks so scary, right? Anyway. One thing... Does it go underwater, the black smoke? Ooh. Oh, thalassophobia is kicking in big time now. My need to make a Pirates of Darkwater campaign is... It's under the water, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my goodness. Woo! This is... Wow. This is great. I love this. Oh my gosh. Smoke on the water. Yeah, Inagata. Yeah, no, I know. I have that record. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Like Inagata to Beta or something like that. Abyssal. Oh my gosh, that adds just a nice little level of danger. Love it. Thank you for pointing that out. So we're kind of getting into the waning minutes of the stream. We got less than 20 minutes left till we wrap up for the day. If y'all have any questions, now's the time. Please feel free to ask away, and I will do my best to answer your questions or concerns. Oh my goodness, I really like these like dark pits and the dark water. It really just adds like so much more danger to it. With lava, yeah, the lava kind of seems like a solid layer. You know what I mean? But yeah, I cannot wait to just do a 2.0 of this map. And I'll probably expand it and just do so much more. I want to have a huge rail system that's like half of the map. Just going all over the place. What kind of dungeon? Or I mean, what kind of dragon? Tell me. I'm intrigued. So, like, I want to be in a long-term campaign where I can hit L20 as a wizard and polymorph myself into a dragon. That just sounds, like, really fun. A gold one? That's awesome. Let's, what's everyone's favorite type of dragon? Just really quickly, I'm curious. Do you have, like, a... well, the next update is going to be called The Floor is Lava, and it will be the paired update that was supposed to go with Winter Wonderlands, everything is Winter Wonderlands, lava, whatever stuff, and it should have caves and mines and mine tracks and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, KO'd. If you play a bard, I don't want to know. Snap dragons, pseudo dragons, red dragons, fairy dragons, undead dragon, Tiamat, mist effect on lava. Does it look good? You know, it'd be really fun is to add lava into the build when I do it, because, like, at the time, there wasn't lava. Don't Dragonborns, like, hate dragons, though? Like, comparing them to a dragon is considered, like, kind of, like, racist, isn't it? So, is there a bone dragon that's just, like, an undead dragon? It's, like, all just bones? Dracolich. Probably, yes. They're pretty cool. That's cool. I've also been kind of like, you know, like considering being probably like a copper dragon or something like that would be cool. Oh, for sure. Let's pull up another map here so we're not staring at Mac's map. And during stream, we've had like 4 updated. That's awesome. Let's go back like 6 or 7 pages. See what we got here. Hey, KO does have a map up here. I'm gonna look at it. You act like you didn't upload any. An old one? It's well, I'm gonna look either way, whether you like it or not. Sorry. An old one with new assets. Didn't you upload this 6 pages ago? It can't be that old. Oh, is there an updated version? By the way, anytime you want to update an old version of your map, it's kind of convoluted and the process is a pain. You actually, instead of updating it and then uploading it, you actually go in and open your map that you want to update. So like in this case, let's say I wanted to update like my mine, like I just did. Or let's say I want to update this one here. It's a small map. We'll just do this one. A caravan campsite. So if I was going to update it, I'd open it from the workshop. Then I'd make any changes. So let's say I added a frying pan here. That's my change. Let's put a fish on it. Little sardine. And then I want to upload that change. You go to update published map. And then you hit update. And then it sends your updated dam to the workshop on the same listing. Now the benefit of doing this is, let's say your listing is very popular and you made some changes to it. You would want to update the same listing and not lose all the ratings and whatnot. However, a lot of people get upset at this process because they'll make the updates to their map and then go to update it and they go, oh wait, I can't update the existing map that's already here on the Steam Workshop. I have to upload a new one now. So basically, make sure you open your existing Steam Workshop map and then update it from that file when you want to start making changes. Don't make changes offline. Now, if you have a second version of your map, you would upload that version and just name it Mark II or V2 or something like that. So essentially, because you've probably done a lot of work offline, not in the workshop version of your map, it would probably, you know, be a pain to go through and do it again. So there's multiple ways to go around it. Anyway, so now my updated map has the little frying pan, as you can see there. The Steam Workshop process is a little interesting. Like, you know, when it says subscribe and download on a map when you open it, like, technically, it's only saved in your, it's only saved in your temporary files in Steam, and it's hard to find, so you still need to save it locally. So you would want to go in, go to File, Save As, whatever, and save it locally. Man, this map with the blood, oof, crazy. Demon's Throne. So I've been kind of diving into 5e lore more and like reading the monster manual, and I've been reading more about demons and stuff. Okay, so is it Asmodeus who rules the demons, right? He's like the head demon. I've been diving into 5e lore like crazy lately. Y'all still there? Cool. Got quiet in chat all of a sudden. I thought I DC'd. My stuff got like a bug really quickly. I'm having all sorts of issues with my computer today. I do think maps with effects have like memory leaks and causes issues over time. Okay, we got about... See, that's the thing, is I want to use the system as a foundation and then make up a lot of my own lore that supplements it. Like, in my homebrew world that I'm making, I've created a whole new race of dwarves. I mean, yeah, if you read through all of the books, they kind of dive into the lore for the world, and then there's still a ton of, like, background and information for it. But, yeah, there is some lore. Take a look at this winter village. That looks nice. So, like last year, Wizards of the Coast retconned goblins to be from the Feywild. And I thought it was kind of interesting how they described them from being from the Feywild, but they forgot about it because they were expelled. And a lot of, like, if I'm not mistaken, the Feywild has, like, a lot of weird properties. Like, when you leave the Feywild, you may even forget you were there. So, like, I was reading into this a bit, and one thing that I found intriguing was that there's all of these elves come from the Feywild, right? There's, like, all these different races of, or versions of elves, and there's different versions of, like, Underdark. You know, there's the Drow, which are Underdark elves, there's Underdark dwarves, but there's no Fey dwarves. And so I thought to myself, what if all dwarves actually originated in the Feywild, and the ones in Faerun are actually like an offshoot that forgot they originated in the Feywild, and they just kind of are very prosperous in the Feywild, or Faerun, do their own thing. But there's like another group of dwarves hiding. Well, not really hiding, they're more like isolationists in the Feywild, and they're in a very isolated region in the Feywild that's like a very densely packed mountain region that's very razor sharp impassable mountains, and there is like a very beautiful nestled valley in the middle of these mountains. And essentially, in my homebrew world, in my lore, that's where dwarves evolved and sprang up from, and then they diverted and went off on their own paths, and one tribe left and ended up in Faerun, and then the others stayed in the Feywild, and they kind of live in this private remote valley and don't really interact with much other people in the Feywild unless they have to. It's kind of like a Dwergar, but in my world they're called Freerdverger, first off, which means first dwarves. I'm heavily inspired by Old Norse culture for my inspiration. And they basically are, that means first dwarves in Old Norse, and they're the dwarves that all dwarves descended from. So every dwarf can trace their lineage back to Freerdverger, essentially. Get that. Love you. But basically, it's a concept that I was kind of evolving and grew, and it started as a one-shot, and now it's like this whole like world I've developed like their entire ecology from like when they started evolving. I explained how the valley came to be. Like, I have like entire lore for their entire history, and I wrote a whole campaign about it, basically. So essentially, these dwarves are different in a lot of ways, but they're familiar. Like, if you spoke to them, their language would seem similar to Dwarven, but also it's like, it's not the same. Parts and bits and pieces seem similar. In addition to that, they're bigger than normal dwarves. They're about a foot taller and a much broader. And it's because their diet's more diverse. They eat like a ton of fish. They are just as happy on the sea or on a farm as they are mining in a cave. I want to stream the campaign. I've been talking to the devs about it, and I think we're going to start with a test of like a one-shot to see how a stream with playing on the stream goes. Does that make sense? To see how the community reacts to it and enjoys it, and go from there. So, essentially, we'll do some test phases, and we'll try and get a cast together, which would be awesome. And I'd like to set it up in a way where it's kind of like a West Marches style, where we could have guests that come in and join once in a while and help out as either a guest NPC or a player, something like that. Anyway, I'm very excited for that going forward, but this whole world is very, very evolved. And I have, like, mapped out essentially what is like a whole continent is slated as this entire valley. It's like 400 miles across and surrounded by mountains on all sides except for the sea. There's a huge open facing exposed to the sea, and there's several huge port cities along the sea. And one of them is along a river that goes further into the continent. And then they have, you know, big cities built into the mountains, but they also have big cities built on, like, you know, fertile areas where there's farmland or, you know, fishing communities, etc. So it's a much more diverse, different dwarf. And the reason they're more diverse is because they've been through some tribulation that forced them to adopt a much more diverse ecology of diet and, like, abilities and skill sets. Instead of just, you know, focusing on living in caves and mines and doing their thing there, they do all of that and more. They look different in a lot of ways. I said they're bigger, but they shave their face. They're clean shaven so you can see their face, and they grow their hair really long. Like, the longer the hair and the more, like, decadent their hairstyle is and the more intricate it's decorated with, like, jewels and beads is usually a sign of status and age. Anyway, I've got, like, all stuff figured out by them. I've like developed a whole token-esque, like, world around these entire this entire world around these dwarves. It's pretty cool. Glam dwarves, kind of. No, some of them though, like, they're like Vikings. They care about their hair. They decorate their hair with beads and jewels. Some of, like, if they're a farmer, their decorations would be more like feathers or like a sprig of wheat, or maybe, you know, like beads or stones. If they're a mason or a rock carver, or if they work in the mines, it would be more like stones and jewels. Or if they're more like a status, it would be gold and jewels, etc. Oops, didn't open all the way. But essentially they are uh-oh. Dungeon Alchemist crashed. So basically they have these a variety of different creatures that are Feywild creatures that are very, very localized to their region. And the reason being is explained throughout the campaign, but that region of the Feywild is heavily influenced by basically what is essentially a magical mineral that is spread throughout the entire valley, and a lot of the creatures there are very divergent in their evolution from the Feywild, so they're very unique. The flora and the fauna there are very, like, standoutish even for the Feywild. So basically, the dwarves, they have a big reverence for, you know, mining and jewelry and, like, metalworking and stuff like that. That is, like, their revered profession. But at the same time, there are fishermen, there are traders, there are people who do farming, there are people who, you know, woodsmen and carvers and all sorts of stuff. There's different people with different skill sets, and they're a lot more diverse in their skills and abilities than a typical Faerun dwarf would be. You know what I mean? So that's just all I'll share for now, but I do have a lot written out for them. Like, essentially thousands of years of history explaining before they arrived, why they, you know, evolved, how they evolved to what they are, their history, and when they became the first Dwarven kingdom, and all that stuff. So I go through and explain a lot of it. But, okay, it looks like it's past 2 now. I had a lot of fun on the stream with y'all today. So there is essentially a creature they've domesticated that is like, it's like a burrower, and it digs really well and efficiently through rock and dirt, and they use them to ride them. like mounts, and they also help them mine. Sorry, someone was asking what they ride, so I was going to say that. I have a name for them written down. I don't remember it offhand. I have tons and tons of stuff. That is a great question. I would love if the magical barriers, you know, the force, wall of force, or the force sphere would have a color slider on them. I will bring that up with the devs and see what they think. But I don't know offhand there, Jet, unfortunately. Is there anything else I can help you guys and gals out with before we leave? I just want to make sure we answered all questions. Hey, you guys have a wonderful weekend. I don't have any leaks for you all at this time, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we only hit the parameters for one giveaway today, Fizz. Every 50 viewers, we do a giveaway. So if we had hit 100 viewers, we would have done another one. That's the rules I gotta follow for now, unfortunately. But hey, they're good rules. Every week we manage to do at least one giveaway, right? So, that's awesome. We'll see you all next week. Same damn time, same damn channel. That would be here on Twitch. 12 p.m. Pacific. 3 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. UTC and, or no, it's 8 p.m. UTC and 9 p.m. CET. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all being a part of it. And we'll see you next week. Back out.